And the same thing will happen when you look at the widow of Zarephath. Can you remember the story? What did Elijah say? He said, what do you have? He said, I got just this thing, we just want to eat it and want to die. He said, He said, that thing you have, bring it. Is that not what he said? He said, that thing that you have, bring it. And the moment, because she despised, she said, it's just this small. We want to eat it and die. She has despised what she has. But guess what? That thing that she has, by the effects of what we call capital, that is the intervention of the prophets. Capital was injected into his assets, into our assets. And then what happens? It blew over, it multiplied, it never ended. Some of you, what you just need to know is how to inject capital to what you have, so that you can create surplus value. Most of the time we think capital is money. Capital is not money. Capital is more like an invisible force. So when, it can be in form of wisdom. It can be in form of a connection that will happen. It can be in form of an information, anything. We will now inject that capital into our, what is this among so many? And then we'll be able to create surplus value. That is multiplication of the bread, multiplication of the fish, multiplication of the oil, multiplication of, all these things, etc. And you can remember the story of the widow of Nain. Can you remember that story too? What did Elisha say to her? What did he say? He said, what do you have? And he said, my master. And Elijah. He said, what is and this thing, this is where this thing is. And the creditors, the creditors, they are coming, and it's my husband that said, all those prophets, she was complaining. He said, okay, enough. What do you have? Have you noticed that nobody just, because what you have, unless you despise, if you despise what you have, that is what the Bible says, that when you despise what you have, that which you have will even be taken from you. You will see nothing. Nothing will happen. You will see nothing. So that's why you must be careful in despising your experiences, despising the things that is in your hand right now. That craft, that thing, this one, many people are now doing it. What is now this one? I'm not even that good. You see your life? You are saying, what is this among so many? The market is even saturated. I don't even, but is that what you have? How did you get there? You probably don't even know. Something just happened, somebody just said something and you got there. Now when you are not there, you now lose beauty in your eyes, you are now despising it. God will not bring something, it is what you have. What do you have? What do you have? And then Elijah asked, he said, what do you have? He said, I don't have anything except, he means that it was seen as, I don't have anything except just a jar of oil. He said, that jar of oil. Only if she knew that jar of oil will be in millions and billions of dollars. Only if she knew. But it was just a despised jar of oil somewhere, and she was in big debt. Meanwhile, what she has, we pay the debts and feed our generations. That is what you have. She could have come out, but somehow, thankfully, that she was not able to, she had help. So I don't have anything except this one. And capital was injected into that asset. And then what do we see? We saw surplus. Is that correct? The words of the prophet was that capital she needed at the time. Alright? There are many things that could be capital, which we are going to look at most likely by tomorrow. And then we also saw the Shunammite woman, right? That Elisha was passing and all. What did she even have? So that, she just felt like, this one is okay, we have an extra room. It wasn't like anybody was using it. No, we just have an extra room. It was not where she sleeps. It's just an extra room. And they said, we have this one now. And then she offered it with the prophet. And that thing that nobody was even using. Amen. That thing that nobody was using. If it was a very nice room, of course, that they'll be using it. Because Because you can remember, they now have to be putting things inside. They put chair, they put table, they put lamp. Because it was just there. So what happened was that she now offered what she had. And of course, life was injected into what she has. And it produced surplus value for her. Her son and the raising from the dead. What do you have? She will have been feeling and I don't have anything to give to this prophet too. But she had something. You could have been despised in her eyes, but she had something. The same thing goes for us. And we also saw, of course, Paul as the Pharisees. And we also see Jesus and Peter and the other disciples. If you can remember, when they did not catch anything and they were toiling all night, what did Jesus say to them? He said, in front of us said, your boats, can you give me? Let me use it to preach. You they feel like they didn't have anything. We toy, we caught nothing. That's the word, nothing. But they had something. They had the boat. There's nothing. But you have a boat. What is that among us? Just fish we need. Are they fish? Don't you know that it is a boat that you will inject capital into, that will produce the bountiful fish that will be breaking nets, surplus? Did you realize? Or just say, bring your assets. And they just gave it to Jesus. And the giving was then injecting capital into it. And then they produce surplus value from that thing. Because they cannot eat both. It was fish they were looking for. But they were despising what they had, thinking that that's what they had was enough to produce the groundbreaking. The net was breaking. One person could not, they have to carry how many people? 3, 4, please, let's carry this together. Surplus, as usual. And if you have observed, the way God usually do these things is that the thing is always in surplus. If you value that thing that you have, it's always in surplus. If you think about Moses' staff, it carried all the snake. It carried everything. Think about the experiences of Joseph. He took everything. Everybody bowed. Everybody was coming to Egypt for food. That leadership thing that God was taking him through, Pharaoh, prison. He knew everybody, including the brothers that persecuted him, now came and bowed and wanted to collect from what he has. It was too much. If you also look at, of course, the widow, Zarephath, too much. Nain, too much. Everybody, David, how can you explain this stone killing a giant? The value was too surplus. He became king. People had to just exalt him. Of course, he was already anointed, but there was nothing anybody could hold on to. Just like what they told Joshua, that if only your God will be like you, will be with you the way he was with Moses. So they have to see something. Is your God, is the Lord your God with you? So they saw something with Moses and with David, and they exalted him. Just something that he has. What you have is enough. It's just enough. And as though that was not all, Jesus now used that expression. He said, did you see how you caught these plenty fishes? What did he now say to them? I will make you the same fishers. The same way David used the word shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. From his experience, Jesus also told them, because that was what that's the experience. They were fishermen. And I said, I will now make you not fishermen, fishers of men. Hallelujah. So it appears as though what we have is actually enough. So in some practical, as we begin to close, in some practical term, right? If you look well, you will realize that what you need, you have, and it is part of your experience. Some of us, for instance, we are doing some businesses and then we just look at it and say, it's just this small thing, it's just within this place and all. Actually, that thing that you are looking at as small and nothing, it can actually be global. you can inject capital into it and turn it to, most of us, sometimes we are quick to learn new things, to do new things. It's good because it's part of growth. Learning new things, doing new things, breaking new ground is part of growth. But sometimes, now, don't let us even say but. Let's say that as you are doing the new thing, don't forget the foundation. Because what we now do is that we now despise what we call little. They asked certain entrepreneurs that were like very rich people, part of the richest people in the world in history, or they asked them, successful people in tech, successful people in finance, successful people in several industry. They asked them, they said, how do you know to do what you are doing to generate so much money? Billions and billions of dollars. So how do you know to do this thing? And they conducted the survey separately. It's not like they gathered them and they were talking in the forum. They conducted the survey separately, and the person that concluded the survey said the conclusion of it is that every one of them said the same thing. They said the way we know what to do. Let me try to read it from here. So he said, we did that which we have always known. So what we did, or what I did, if an Indian is talking, is what I've always known. So someone now said, if you look at between the ages of, before you just before you get to your teenage years, into your teenage years, before you get to your adulthood, if you look at those things that you are interested, those things that you are doing, so most of the time, that is where what you should do to generate surplus, that is where it is. But what we do most of the time is to throw those things away. And we want to do new things. It's good to do new things. It's very good. But in the midst of doing our new things, because if we really even check the way the way God dealt with people, He dealt with them from small. And if you look at how they are like, God, is not suddenly. Have you noticed? God did not say anything suddenly just bring, no. You can look at it as suddenly, but they knew where they were coming from. That it's a build-up of several things. For God to bring you to where you are now, He has been arranging it since when you were very small. So if you can look back at certain things when you were younger, you will realize very vividly what you should be doing and what you should trust that capital will be injected to create surplus value in. So guys, what again do you have? Hallelujah. What do you have? What you have is enough. So, what I'm urging you guys to do here tonight is to think really through certain things. I remember, this guy even be very funny. I remember somebody posted something on Instagram sometimes, and I saw a video of a young lad, a boy, trying to draw something. He drew the mother. Oh my God. With pencil. The mother looked like Papa. Of course, he's just a child. So the mother took the camera and was saying like, let us see. Say, no, mom, no, mom. Let me see what you have drawn. So he reluctantly showed. The mom was saying, wow! Oh, wow! But the father was on the other side of the room. He was on his leg and his hand. Laughing his life out. But of course, it's not what to laugh too much. So he was really trying to control himself. What I did, like the thing was too funny. So the child was asking that, he said, this is the most beautiful art I've ever seen. So then why is that laughing? It was very funny. The mouth of the woman was like a dog. You now do something that looked like air, like something. God. The sight was terrible. But the mother was like, wow, this was said, well, what's that laughing? I said, I don't mind that. That you have to say beautiful in French. I not commented on that post. I just made that comment. So, but, because, when I saw that, I remember when I was quite young. I think I was maybe 4 or 5 at the time. And then some of my uncles, then my house used to be like because there's always food. There's money, there's food. So all my uncles, they will come during their holidays and all. They will come from their universities and all. They will come to our house. And we usually have very full house during halls, and everywhere is just full. So there was now one time like that somehow all my uncles, about 2, 3 or 4 of them, they all met in our house. And they now said, of course, just myself and my sister that mommy gave birth to, and so we always treated in a kind of way, like, of course, the star of the family, something like that. Among, now my mama will drop money now. So we had that thing. I said, okay, we should come and do, both of us come and draw. So we should come and draw that. So, you know how, at the time they look very old, but they must have been like, maybe 13, 15, but they look like, no one else as children we see, at the time. So all of them will come, they'll do several games and all. So there was now one of the days, and I said, we should come and draw. So now said, me and my sister, we should do competition, we should draw. So they brought the book and the pencil. Oh my God. Oh God. I shall draw that head like this. Put 2 things like eyes. Put mouth. Shall draw the God. My sister, she just drew her own. Put something like this, like hair. It looked special to me because I did not think to put hair in my own. Like, she can draw. She put hair like this. She now put hand. The women not put it that like 4 fingers. Come here, I just did my own like this. How did she do her own like this? She did like this. She now put slim stomach. She now drew something like this. Boo, boo, like a Cinderella girl. Under the girl, she now put something like this. And then put leg. One leg like this, one leg like this. She actually do like that. God, it was so beautiful. Because my own, the leg is very... I didn't even know how to draw clothes. I didn't even know. When we now draw, I try to look at it. All my uncles are like, they look at my style. When now I say, no, they not look at my own. No. Hey. That's why they start collected it from me and they look at it. They laughed. God, I cried that day. They laughed. But it was no, my uncle Delu. And I said, no, Alayo, can you follow? I don't want to believe it. Because everybody else was laughing. I don't want to believe it. So that's how I remember, that's how I commented on that thing that I saw because I had a kind of similar experience. So I couldn't find, but because the way it was convincing me, I was convinced that this thing, it makes some sense. And someone that gave me some form, but of course I knew my style was better than mine. But it should give me some form of encouragement that this is really nice. Of course, from then I stopped drawing. I don't even know how to draw. I don't even know anything. But I always remember, there are certain events that happen in a child's life that I don't forget. That's part of it in my life. I'm not even explaining it very well. If you were there that day, you understand the emotional trauma that I went through. And so, later on, when I got to JSS, I think JSS 2, then JSS 3. So in social study, if you've been to did you go to government school in Lagos? You know that they are lazy teachers. So they will have you so I was taking PE, physical education. So in PE, you will draw things. Of course, you will draw, probably some of them will draw volleyball now. You will draw somebody playing ball. You will draw net. You will draw somebody washing. You shall draw several things. So that teacher, she was so lazy that she now asked us to go and copy notes from a textbook. So normal people, and you must draw. So if people that have textbook, what they will do is that they will now put the textbook on their book and trace it. I know they will not say, me, I don't get textbook. I don't even know why I not buy pre-test. It was not just part of the textbook my mommy will pack for us. We have several subjects. P is just like, we have textbook for P, for what? So, I shall collect one person's book. And you cannot share somebody else's book or they'll not borrow you again. So I have to draw it. Hey, God. That's I just sat there and said, you know what? This drawing today, I don't know what will happen. But I have to draw and I have to be the best in this class. Okay, not like be the best, but at least shall I draw that it will make sense because everybody is chasing around. They were good. They were nice drawings. And I was class captain. Class Magba, but my own is somehow. So I know about Joshua. It's only girls' school. So somehow we always put the most intelligent, the most brilliant, and stuff like that. So as I just sat down at home, I was tempted to trace. But I was like, if I trace this thing, this girl will not borrow me a book again. So I just sat down. So guess what we wanted to draw? We had to draw volleyball, and then we had to draw, in part of, I don't know, we had to draw some people that are doing party and dancing, and somebody begging. I don't even know why that teacher will ask us to draw that kind of thing. How can we, there's 2, 3, be drawn that kind of thing? And you have to draw it. So that's why I just sat down. So I just said, you know what? Chibi, I know book. And what they teach me, I'll just repeat. What I see, I repeat. So, if I shall see that something shall like this, this will just do like this. It's like this. Okay. I will look. I can spend 5 minutes looking at that. No, it's not like this. It's like this. No, it's not like this. So I shall do 3. So that's how I just started, And somehow when I came, I was like, I was so surprised. So this is drawing. It's just to draw what you see. I now started drawing everything. The people where they did not ask us to draw. I started drawing. So me, I now took my own a step further. If I now see that, one part is shaded, means I'll shade it. So I was not just drawing like emptiness. I was not drawing dimension. I was putting, oh God. At the time, and I said, you know what? I'm getting a drawing book. And I got a drawing book. I started drawing anything, draw anything. Shall be drawing. And that was how, of course, that drawing book, I offended one of my uncles one day and he burnt it. I gave up on drawing, so I'm not drawing anything again. I gave up in that JS2 through JS3. But when I got to SS3, there was a girl that usually found that she can draw in class, so she will use she's an art student now, I was a science student, so she will use chalk to draw. I just said, I can't really do this thing. I've done it just now, but I was too scared because I feel as though she has gone higher or something like that. So I will not do anything. So there was not one day I wanted to present a special gift for somebody. Immediately after secondary school, I just said, you know what? Let me just try this drawing thing now. Let me just try it because I saw a drawing somewhere with pencil. I said, can you use pencil to do details like this? So I just tried and somehow, even though the person looked a bit, but at least, if it was not that person, if you know that it's that person, you just see the drawing, you say that this drawing is beautiful. It's only when you know that it's this person, like, this is not this person. And that was how I picked it up again. So by the time I get to university, I just jumped again, there was a lot. By the time it's as though when I'm always at the brink of starting something, when I was about to graduate, I just know some guys. So somebody was about to leave again from NCCF. One of the persons that started NCCF then. So the person was about to leave. So I just said, I just remember that I gave somebody gift. So I just drew him again. And it made sense. I just gave it to him. So somehow, as I was going to gift it to him at Chicken Republic in Akuba, I just met some guys on the road showing their drawings to themselves. So some people were odd. I just look at it and said, I can draw it too now. So you can do pencil. I said, I even have one here. So he said it was not as fine as his own, but he felt like, come and join us now. Association of Revolutionary Artists, Akuba. Anyway, that's how I just joined them. Before you know, I was vice president. Before you know me, I don't know anything. I would just be following them as though I really know something that they are doing. So I will see, what is this one? This one is blending. This blending stump now. I did not know I had this one. This blending stump now. I created my own blending stump from paper. This is this one now. I said, this one is kneading. I started, blending like that. And then we did the exhibition. I did my first exhibition in school at the relaxation center that year. So by the time I was going to leave university, I just picked it up. So I made a lot of money. And so I'm saying this story to say that it started from an experience that looked negative. But, I was actually praying for what I was going to do after university. It didn't occur to me. Because you feel like this is nothing. I don't know how to draw now. I don't know it now. It was like, what is this among so many? But that heart was to be something that will push me to certain surplus. Of course, we are still getting somewhere. It was going to pull me. I have my works in certain places in the world right now. At least I have in Tokyo, I have in London, I have in one other place like that we are still looking at certain deals. But where did it start from? Of course, what is going to create mad surplus value? But where did it start from? Drawing something that looked like very disfigured. So I'm saying that those experiences, both the ones, so those men, they're actually correct. They're successful, so you probably listen to them. By saying that what you have is enough, that what we did to create this amount of wealth is what we have always known. It's just that we now injected certain capital into it, and then it produced surplus. So the point at which some of us are right now is that you don't know what capital and how to inject certain capital into it. And that's what we now look at by tomorrow. So this is our introduction. In summary, guys, that look back, what you have is enough. Both in skill, both in experiences. One of the things, someone that spoke to me about certain problem and all was that, by the time I was done with that, and I just looked at it, and I ventured, I said, I can do what these people are doing and even more now. I can do it now. That was in certain video editing this thing for me. Like, I just look at I can do what these people are doing now. No. And I just ventured, I got my first gig, $400. I was like, and it was something simple that even if I'm sleeping, I can do it. I was like, how have I been thinking that I've just been telling myself what I had was enough? So most of us are probably like that. You have been guarding things, or you probably not even guard, you just have one thing somewhere, but you've despised it. But you know that in you know that thing is intricate in you. It's like an intricate thing that is just there, is wire. Now, that's why I give you the example of that art stuff for me. I didn't know how to do it from the start, but it was it. It was there somehow. I just needed a particular somebody to say something. And what they said just pushed me out and launched me into, creating surplus value from that art. Somebody just needed to say something. So sometimes you might even look as though, but your interest is there, but you are not good. Guess what? That thing you have is still enough. Why? Because people, all these people, they despise what they have. Maybe it's just not enough. But all you needed is all they needed was for someone to inject certain capital, and then they create into that particular asset, and they create value that is surplus from that matter, or from that experience, or from that material, or from whatever they have. This is very clear, guys. All right, let's just pray in the Holy Ghost.